Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Crypto Ginger here. Just wanted to bring a quick update on some things happening in the cryptocurrency world. I'm jumping right into it, guys. You can see it's March 1st, 2018, and we're sitting on a market cap of just over $462 billion. And looking at our weekly chart, guys, you can see that basically earlier in the week we had quite a bit of money being pulled out of the entire market cap, roughly around $40 billion, and we created a decent support line around the $420 billion mark here. Of course, we had a nice bull rally run back up to the $465 billion mark, but that has actually created a resistance line, and we've had some pullbacks since then. But nicely enough, guys, you can see that our new support line is sitting roughly around $440 billion. So if we can keep up this momentum, guys, and we can start seeing some more drive back into our resistance area, if we can break that, we could easily see this take off and have the momentum to get it to $500 billion and possibly create a new support line there. So this is stuff that we need to be looking for, guys. Hopefully we can see that take place in the very near future. And just as well, if the Bitcoin can remain dominant, then hopefully if history repeats itself, we can see at a particular dominance level, people reallocating their money into altcoins. And once that happens, you could see a tremendous shift in the amount of money being going from Bitcoin back into the altcoins. I can't say that that's going to happen immediately, but if you look here, the transitional time that when we saw Bitcoin start going into the altcoins, that was roughly around March, April of 2017. And it wasn't until we got to around June, July of last year, 2017, when we started seeing, Bitcoin turn right back around and start gaining its dominance again. So these are important things to start looking into, guys, especially, again, if history has a tendency to repeat itself, we could see a little bit of time shifting where Bitcoin is going to gain its dominance, and then that money be reallocated to altcoins later on in the year. So keep your eye out for that, guys. Between that and, of course, more information going out to the public for mass adoption, we'll see more people jumping on board. I would imagine that on top of things such as the Waltonchain situation that took place within the last 24 hours, where basically Waltonchain had a kind of a contest, a Valentine's Day campaign contest going on, and they recently announced the winner today, but that winner just so happened to use Waltonchain's Twitter feed to announce that they were the winner, which indicates basically that it was a Waltonchain employee who actually won the campaign. So this immediately caused quite a bit of conflict with anyone who had invested their time for this particular campaign, and even Waltonchain themselves. So whether this is good or bad in regards to this scenario that took place, they did come out and actually specify that there was an apology statement for this situation. However, we do need to keep in mind that from everything that was announced about this, it was done from a random generating software program that pulled the winner randomly. Now, there's obviously technicalities behind how random drawings take place, but regardless of that, if there was no conflict of interest specified immediately about employees being able to participate, then that means anyone, regardless if they're an employee or not, could be randomly selected as the winner. So again, there is an apology statement. You can go definitely check that out. I'll leave a link in the description for you if you want to look a little bit more into this. But what I want to iterate here, guys, is regardless of negative or positive to this kind of feedback, Waltonchain gained a significant amount of attention because of this. And this wasn't something that was a negative aspect of the coin or the company. It was just simply people had a negative approach to seeing that an employee won the campaign versus just someone that had nothing to do with the company. So people did consider it a conflict of interest, but I see this as a means of gaining a significant amount of publicity for your coin, rightfully so. If you look at the 1 day, guys, I would imagine that around the time that this announcement took place, we are starting to see this decline in the coin itself. But funny enough, it didn't drop very much. It only dropped, as far as USD concerned, about $2. So Once it dropped, looks like it took a huge interest again, and people went right back into the coin. So again, it's not something that was a huge negative impact. I mean, the coin is actually up in the green, 6.77%. So um, again, what I'm just trying to iterate is that this is one of those situations where if you have enough publicity, all you need is the attention to keep your drive going. And if you're a very strong, backed up type of company such as Waltonchain, then you could easily use this to your advantage. So again, I would imagine things like this right here are going to be driving sources to bring more people on board, or at least to gain the attention of cryptocurrency for beginners and noobs and people that are wanting to know more about cryptocurrency. I would imagine things such as this just as well will end on this. Poloniex actually joins Circle, according to Poloniex, or basically Circle takes over Poloniex. Interesting enough, regardless of how this is being approached, Poloniex and Circle are tag teaming together here. And this is good because Circle has the means to reach out to big time investors, people that are heavily involved with money. As a matter of fact, if we actually go to Circle's page here, here's an article where they talk about acquiring Poloniex. So you can see how the wording is different from Poloniex, where they join Circle, but Circle says they acquire Poloniex. Enough of that, though. Getting into their about page, if you can see here, one of the more important things is that Circle is actually backed up by Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is one of the top dog names out there in regards to stocks. Lots and lots of money being invested in that kind of company. And of course, you have a lot of other backed up partners here as well. I would imagine their credentials are relatively high, and quite a bit of people are involved in their companies just as well. I apologize for not being familiar with a lot of these companies, but Goldman Sachs being one of the most substantial names out there as far as a venture capitalist is concerned. An investor, yeah, that's huge. So when you have big investors backing up a company such as Circle, and then Circle acquires Poloniex, being this exchange, now you have the means of merging two different entities into one, as far as bringing, again, stockholders, big, huge stockholders and venture capitalists into the cryptocurrency market. So this could be another means for driving, more money into the cryptocurrency market. Now, interesting enough, guys, I'm going to link something here in regards to Poloniex and Circle with a previous video done regarding the SEC. Now, this right here was a Twitter feed that I saw from a gentleman named Nathaniel Popper. Now, this is someone I've been following. I'm not too familiar with this particular person individually, but what they've shown here is that this is a confidential slide regarding Circle and their involvement with Poloniex. What I found interesting about this, regardless of whether or not this is substantially true or not, this right here, the SEC approach, I done a video a couple days back regarding the SEC and their stance on cryptocurrency with an article that came out from Bitcoinist.com. This is basically their 5 indicators as to how they feel about cryptocurrency. 1, there are no SEC registered ICOs. 2, the SEC can't always have your back. 3, sorry, but some ICO tokens are definitely securities. 4, the SEC treats cryptos like currency. And 5, the SEC likes cryptos. So if we go back to this particular, this Twitter here, this little slide regarding Circle and the SEC, I find this part here interesting. It says Circle has briefed the SEC on the transactions and indicated that upon closing that we will begin the process of registering the new entity with the SEC and FINRA as a broker-dealer. Interesting. And in turn, as a licensed electronic trading marketplace. So you see here they're opening themselves up through the SEC with their approval to actually be this trading marketplace. So again, availability through the SEC to now merge possibly venture capitalists that deal primarily with stocks to cryptocurrencies. Further, it says the SEC was very favorable on this approach and indicated that they would not pursue any enforcement action for prior activity. So if we start seeing anything come out of the woodworks about something prior that happened, they're not going to be held liable for that. And lastly, they say that we're the first and only company in the space to approach them, and we're very progressive and working closely with us. So You can see that SEC is obviously going to be very, very closely working in connection with Circle, who's dealing with venture capitalists who possibly don't want their money taken or put into some sort of scammy situation. So you can rest assured that if there's going to be some big time investors, they're going to want to have some big time backing up of their investments in probably the most legal fashion possible. So it's a very interesting connection here, guys, between Circle, Poloniex, and the SEC. So, outside of this, I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out as far as bringing new money into the cryptocurrency market, and also how this is going to work out with the SEC. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you guys about this situation and what you think is really going to happen for the future of cryptocurrency, as far as like companies like Poloniex being merged with the Circle, and again, Circle being connected that closely to the SEC. And also, let me know what you think about Waltonchain. I'd love to hear from you guys. I definitely appreciate you guys being a part of the channel, and we're going to have a lot more video content coming out just as well. If you like what you see today, guys, hit that like button, please. It definitely helps get this information out there, brings more people to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button just as well. Outside of that, follow me on Twitter, guys, the Crypto Ginger, and be on the lookout for new videos. Hope you have a good night, and stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.